Hello and welcome to another episode of Cocoa in the Sun podcast. I am your host, Malika Critchlow. I am what is the right word? I am pleased to be here today. Not so sure I'm in a happy zone, so I don't want to say I'm happy to be here. I am pleased. I do feel like I need to do this episode. So I said I was going to do like a miscellaneous episode before we started the new book, The Magdalene Manuscript by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion or Sion. This is the new book that we're going to start in the next podcast. I'm not going to do it today. And it centers around Mary Magdalene and her story. It's a channeled book, Mary Magdalene giving her story. So I have read most of the book, but I did skip the parts with the Taoism and stuff because there's a lot of stuff. I did skip a lot of the I don't say yoga stuff, the meditation stuff, with seeing the two snakes. I kind of envisioning these things. I skipped a lot of that. And I really was really interested in her story more than the methods. So I was really interested in her human aspect and her connection to others, her relationship with others, and how to keep those relationships healthy and in love, right? That's where I was interested. So I kind of skipped like the meditation stuff and the religious stuff. I have said before that I do see the value of meditation, but it's not really something. I mean, I think I like stillness meditation, where you're just still and just observing the day. I think that's the meditation that I've been doing and not knowing I've been doing when I look at the sunset in the evenings. But like meditation with an endpoint kind of has not been the thing. I did try the transcendental meditation and I did feel different. And I think meditation works. I just think that for some reason, just yet, I don't connect with it in a major way. If I feel like I want to do the transcendental, I will, but I don't feel like I want to do it like every day for 20 minutes, like it's suggested. So really enjoying mostly the way I'm learning stuff now and how the communication occurs for me. And that's generally by just finding YouTube videos that explain things in a way that I like, or topics that I find interesting. Sometimes Instagram posts, a thread post, and a lot of personal information in my dream time. I'm really comfortable with that right now. How that expands, or if it does expand, I am curious to see. Maybe the meditation would expand it. And I need to do that. But I don't enjoy it. And I'm trying to follow my heart's joys. So today is a clear day and a fuzzy day for me. So I'm clearer now, and I think understanding how it works, or I have a clearer understanding of how it works. This doesn't mean that I know exactly how, just clearer than I had maybe last week. Probably more clarity will come later. But I'm fuzzy today in terms of my heart's joys. Kind of clouded and should be doing stuff, but I don't really want to. So I had a really clear day yesterday, though, in terms of myself and my being. Okay, so first, so today the miscellaneous thing that I wanted to cover was in the Hathors, they gave a description of what God could be considered an aspect of a way of thinking of God, which I thought was really cool. I wanted to just touch on that one more time. And then in Bring Us to the Dawn, I wanted to touch a little bit on the feminine, masculine coming into balance and how they expanded on that. And then I wanted to share with you some YouTube videos that I found helpful for me in explaining how it works and some of the stages. And so the thing is, though, now that I saw, and I love those videos, and I'm probably gonna look at it again. Now that I know, oh, I've seen these videos and it's clarified an aspect for me. Feel a little bit like maybe I would have enjoyed not knowing longer and enjoying the discovery. So I am like, while you're in the discovery of it, you just want to know. And then when you do know, like, oh, the search is somewhat over. I like the search. So the human in me, right? Never satisfied. It's always like, and I mean, the search isn't over because this is just other people's thoughts on it. And I would have to experience it myself, and get to my own understanding. And so that's something to look forward to. But I don't know. I don't know why I'm in this funny space today. So anyway, so we'll talk about that after if I remember, because I know sometimes I get sidetracked and I get into other things. But anyway, so today is Memorial Day, Miami, Florida. It's hot. It is so hot, y'all. It is so hot. That's the chair. That's the chair. It's not me. It makes squeaky noises. I'm sorry. So I like to go for walks and stuff, but it's been so hot. It's insane. Even when I take the dog, 'cause I take the dog for like 3 walks a day, like the mid-afternoon walk, like I worry about his paws. So we try to stay in the cool and the walk isn't as long. Yeah, it's been hot. But the evenings have been beautiful, like, And when I say evening, I mean like after 7:30, it cools down. That's my favorite time of day, the dusk, twilight. And it's breezy and the sky is beautiful, kind of pinks and oranges and purples. So the evenings have been quite beautiful, but during the day, Lord have mercy. So I don't think I'm doing anything for Memorial Day. I would have liked to go to the park or something, but no. It'll be inside day with some movies. Okay, so the first thing I was going to talk about today is the Hathor material and a description that they gave for God. I'm going to read it. So it says, from our perspective, it is not that God created the earth and the universe so much as God is the process of creation itself, and that God is inherent in the physical matter of the universe. From our understanding, where you are, God is. Creation is. Indeed, there is no place you can be where God is not. You are a part of God slash creation. It is central to everything. Creation moves through and is present in the smallest particle of matter. From this perspective, all of the physical universe is sacred space. It is a hallowed temple. Many people are presently cut off from or have disconnected themselves from an awareness of Earth. And this has to do with the hypnagogic state of consciousness produced by the belief systems of your culture, which insist that the physical world is the totality of all experience. So I really love this description of God as being the process of creation instead of being created by. That would mean that all aspects of creation is an aspect of God in process. So yeah, that's been sitting with me a lot. It's been sitting with me a lot. I've never heard it described that way. And like my thoughts on it, like how so the more we evolve or create, the more creation grows and God evolves itself because God is the process of creation. So as we evolve, God evolves. I don't know, I've been like circling with this. And like if you think about it, if it is so, everything is sacred because everything is God and everything should be honored and loved and respected and given compassion, acceptance, and understanding. And you would be interacting with yourself at every level, at all times, an aspect of yourself. I don't know. So this has me, I think it's really beautiful, a beautiful description of what God is. It makes it more interactive, more interrelated in your life, right? More relationship occurs here because you're in a relationship with everything, which is in relationship with God, because God is everything. It makes it less far away, right? So I really found this quite beautiful. And then in Bringers of the Dawn, where they mentioned the balancing of the feminine and the masculine, I thought, well, first of all, they talk about the journey, this journey that we're on. And I forgot that they, it's never ending, essentially. And that's the beauty of it also. It's like, yo, it's never ending. It is not end. But that can be beautiful because like I was saying earlier, like when the clarity I got from these videos, I was like, oh, kind of like the journey of it, you know. So there's going to be more that I'm going to learn, I guess, as it's a never ending journey, right? So anyway, I digress. So it says, by taking the non-ending journey within and the non-ending journey without, you link yourself up into a connected spiral in which there is a universal truth. I think that's profound because there's so much about myself that I don't know that I'm still learning. And there's so much about or else around me that I don't know that I'm still learning different aspects of how to relate with it, how to see it, how to love it, how to interact with it, how to, yeah. that is affected by my journey within, right? Which appears to be never ending because I'm just learning new things and new things and new things and new things and new things about myself and my connection to other aspects of being. Anyway, so I thought so that brings a truth. But again, I think that truth is also non-ending. Like the truth grows, right? Your understanding of the truth changes as you learn more things about yourself and by extension, the external world. Ah, listen, listen, these books, you know, I said take everything with a grain of salt and see like what resonates with you. Like they say all things, right? Because your journey again is specific to you. And so not everything will resonate because your experience won't be exactly this experience of what they're saying. But some things, a lot of things would make sense, will be clarified because they're seeing it from a higher perspective, a perspective of not being in it, being past it. Um, anyway, so also I'm grateful to be in it though. I'm grateful for this time that we have here. I feel like before I was like rushing to get out of it because it didn't feel so good. But now I want to savor it. I want to savor the time here. And I think that's what time allows. I think time slows it down enough for us to savor it, to draw it out, to enjoy it, to be in it. I think time, I don't want to say anybody else, but I felt like I remember being a kid and I was like, oh my God, I just want to be older and not have to follow anyone's rules. And then you're older and you're like, oh my God, to be a kid again, not have to do all the make all the decisions and have all the responsibility. And I think like my relationship is time is either like I want to go back, I want to go forward, but I don't want to be here now. And I think being here now is the gift, right? That it's we're supposed to be enjoying it and savoring it and learning from it. All these emotions, these sensitivities that I have that sometimes felt overwhelming, actually a blessing to have these emotions, to have this experience, to feel, is a gift. And so my whole perspective now is like, yeah, I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it in all the ways I can enjoy it, experience it. I don't know if I want to experience it in all the ways. I don't want to experience it in all the joyful ways, all the loving ways, and all the ways filled with laughter and connection, good interaction. I want to grow in that way, and I want to savor that. So I think I've made my peace with time, and I'm grateful for it. Grateful that it moves too, and it's not paused. It's like at the perfect pace. It's not paused, so it's not too slow. And to me, it's not too fast, so I'm able to experience it at a good pace. I'm very grateful for time today. I'll tell you why too. It's one of the videos I saw. This guy did a lot of research, did some traveling, some astral traveling and meditations, and saw some things and experienced some things, I think with ayahuasca or DMT. So he got some truths again, it's his own truths because it wouldn't be the same for everyone. It wouldn't be showed the same way, but it thinks aspects of it is universal. And it resonated with me, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And when he said it, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, I digress. So let's go back to Bring Us to the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak. And she says, female energy, no, the Palladians say, sorry, female energy, that which feels and connects life to life, is being awakened in everyone. Woman must really find their ideas of femaleness and strength. They must find what it is to be strong as females, just as men must discover what it is to be vulnerable as males. Which is the endearing aspect of the male when he is? What is the endearing aspect of the male when he is vulnerable? What is the endearing aspect of the female when she is in self-empowerment, when she is a feminine version of empowerment and not a masculine vision? So a woman's term of empowerment would be different than a man's. You don't have to copy them. So when you marry that twin flame inside yourself, you are recognizing the intuitive goddess, life-bringing, sensitive portion of yourself, as well as the portion of yourself that is powerful, rational, and intellectual. One that is very much of the earth plane, and the other is very much of the spiritual plane. When you merge these energies together in yourself, it will be imperative that you find someone who has the same qualities. You will not fit with someone who's not integrated and whole. You will automatically draw whole people to yourself, and it will be effortless. You will be able to plug into one another out of desire and recognition, not out of need. By committing to love yourself and making this commitment the number one step from which you operate daily, everything falls into place. You become whole and complete. Then you are ready for a bonded relationship with another who is complete. And that relationship can take you into unexplored realms. So, I've said it before in other episodes, but it is the key. Self-love unfolds everything else. It unfolds everything else. It unfolds everything else. And that self-love, it expands, like it's different aspects of yourself you learn about, but you do have to start with that where you are now, and then you learn more about yourself, more about yourself, more about yourself. You have to love and accept all those aspects. Just let it be, just allow. It's not even, just see yourself. You're like, oh, that's okay. That's okay. It's okay if I'm not perfect. It's okay if I do this. It's okay. It's okay. And once I'm okay with who I am, and I love myself as that, it can transmute to what I want to be. But I gotta love myself here first in order to do that. I was looking at this Instagram post. Let me get it. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I found the post. And it's by New Happy Co on Instagram. And it says, forgive yourself for the past, accept yourself in the present, and envision yourself in the future. And this is it. I, 'Cause I, 'Cause I don't know. 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 I don't You can see. But this is how it works. I think also the Hathors do mention it in the last few chapters too. But they break it down as awareness, right? Awareness, choice, and vibration. These are the three keys to unfolding destiny and changing destiny. And this would pertain to yourself and situations in your life. You have to be aware of it. The awareness that we always have choices, the ability to energize those choices, and the constant potential of achieving a new and higher vibration. So being aware of where you are, accepting it, then that's it, making the choice to love yourself and love where you are and look at everything as a happening for you instead of to you. Everything's happening for your highest good. So you learn something, so you progress, so you expand, if you look at it that way. So you have the choice of that and seeing it in a loving way and in a way of compassion. So being aware that it's occurring, being okay. So whatever it is, I feel this way today. Or this situation doesn't make me feel good. And having the choice to decide, okay, it doesn't make me feel good, but I think it's for my highest good. I think there's lessons here to learn from it. I think I can see this other person's point of view and my point of view, and both can exist, both perspectives based on our past experience and our own like filters and stuff like that. And you know, although I don't want to engage in this way with this person, I can still not not I can still see their value. I can still see how this can be something I can grow from and learn from. Whether it's setting my own boundaries or knowing what's for me and what's not for me, developing my discernment without judging, you know, and then that allows me to change my vibration, right? So I'm like, okay, that's a lesson. I understand why that occurred. I've been there. I know what that means. I can relate to that, and I can know like I'm not there anymore. And it's not something I really think is for me, but I can give that person grace and wish them well along their way. You know, thanks for the lesson. Thanks for teaching me, for refining, you know, what I want from my experience. So yeah, they talk about it like that as well, you know. So that's it, those three things, I think. Loving yourself, loving, but even if you can break it out into three things, just loving yourself and seeing all things as occurring because you are loved. So loving myself has been pivotal for my journey and my growth and my perspective changing and the things that I've wanted in my life, the understandings, the connections, the interactions I've been wanting. And to me, it's been led to the growth that is still occurring and being okay with the pace of that growth and being happy with where I'm at and where I'm going and looking forward to where I'm going, you know. So so yeah. So that's what I wanted to share from those books. those are the things I wanted to share. So now, what do I want to share today? Right. So today, I'm kind of clearer on how it all works. I know there's still a lot to learn, but because I know now more of how it works, so I believe what the video showed, I'm kind of in between two things, right? So yesterday, I was like super like, wow, that's how it works. Literally, all I need to do, which one of the other videos stated, was to really be love and just be. And so that would lead to, I think, the emotions and the feelings that would send to whatever levels of awareness and consciousness for the experiences that I want to experience and for those next experiences to occur. So kind of learning that, but also like, now that I know, I kind of miss the journey of knowing, but there's still so much I don't know. So it's like, I don't know why I'm missing the journey, because I still have to figure out how to put it all together. Also, like, moments of clarity last for like moments. And then I'm like befuddled again with, okay, so if I do this, then this occurs. But those other type of emotions that don't feel good but still hold value, how does that work? Right? Do I not experience those anymore? So I know I'm talking in riddles. So let me just show you. Let me see if I can open up the videos. Um, so
Showing up on the first page of Google might not be the best for everyone.
The transition from ego-based to heart-based consciousness progresses along a number.
So I want to share the video. Hold on. How do I share my screen? Okay. So this is the what is this? Oh my God. Okay. So this is the video. It's called the Joshua Channelings from Ego to Heart 3. It's from the channel Soul 22 Sophia. This video kind of breaks down a lot about the different transitions of our human evolution, and how to, it gives, so it's a okay, let me go to the channel so you can actually see. They have like a playlist. Playlist. Okay. So there is the Joshua Channelings playlist.
From ego to heart, part 1. 4 stages in the From ego to heart, part 3.
So part 3, I found out.
Letting go of the old you. The transition from ego-based to heart-based consciousness progresses along a number of stages.
So part 3, I found, had the stage that I was at and how to transition from that stage. But this playlist has like all 4 stages, and then it has the light worker part 1 and 3, and then it has the new is part 1 and part 2. All of these are really good at explaining exactly what I resonate with, what's happening right now on Earth, and explains who we are and what as humans, and what makes us special, why is it so hard, because we don't understand a lot of how it works. So it kind of explains it, and I really liked it. Again, of course, you will discern for yourself what's right for you and what explanation works for you, what resonates with you, what doesn't resonate with you. This resonates with my journey, and I think this is how things are working based on stuff that's occurring in my life, or the progress that I've seen, the way my life has been moving. So the stages that I've gone through. So I found this really, really helpful. Anyway, so I'm gonna play some of it.
1, being unsatisfied by what ego consciousness has to offer you, longing for something else, the beginning of the end. 2, becoming aware of your ties to ego-based consciousness, recognizing and releasing the emotions and thoughts that go with it, the middle of the end. 3, letting the old ego-based energies inside you die, throwing off the cocoon, becoming your new self, the end of the end. 4, the awakening of a heart-based consciousness within you, motivated by love and freedom, helping others make the transition. We will now speak of stage 3, but before we do, we wish to point out that the transition does not take place along a straight and linear pathway. There are moments in which you may fall back to a stage you had already left behind. But such a fallback may later on lead you to a big step forward, so detours may turn out to be shortcuts. Also, every soul's spiritual path is unique and individual, so this scheme we are providing you with, the 4 different stages, should be conceived of as simply a way of highlighting some of the turning points in the process. Schemes and categories are merely instruments that make visible a reality that cannot be captured by the mind, the mental part of you.
When you die, you go to another life. Maybe heaven, maybe purgatory, maybe hell. These.
After you have accepted your inner wounds and you have healed the traumatized parts of your consciousness that we have described in a previous chapter, your energy shifts. You are letting go of an older you. You are making room for a totally different way of being and experiencing. In this chapter, we would like to explain what happens energetically when you release ego-centered consciousness. What happens energetically when you move from ego domination to heart-based consciousness is that the heart chakra takes precedence over the will, or the 3rd chakra. Chakras are spinning wheels of energy located along your spine. These energy centers are all related to particular life themes. For example, spirituality, the crown chakra, communication, throat chakra, or the emotions, navel chakra. The chakras are to some extent part of a material reality, since they are related to specific places in your body, but they are not visible to the physical eye. So you might say they linger in between spirit and matter. They bridge the gap. They form the point of entrance for spirit, your soul conscious, enabling it to take physical form and create the things that are happening in your life. The heart chakra, located in the middle of your chest, is very much the seat of the energy of love and oneness. The heart carries energies that unify and harmonize. When you draw your attention to the center for a while, you may feel warmth or something opening up. If you do not feel anything, simply let go and perhaps try some other time. The chakra below the heart is called the solar plexus, and it is located near your stomach. It is the seat of the will. It is the center that focuses your energy into physical reality. Therefore, it is the chakra that is connected to issues of creativity, vitality, ambition, and personal power. The ego and the will are closely related to each other. The faculty of the will enables you to focus on something either without or within. Your perception of reality, of both yourself and others, are greatly influenced by what you want, by your desires. Your desires are often intermingled with fear. You often want something because you feel you are in need of it. There is a sense of a lack of neediness beneath. Because of the fears that are present in many of your desires, The solar plexus is often driven by the energy of the ego. The ego especially expresses itself through the solar plexus. Through the faculty of the will, the ego literally puts a pressure on reality. Reality has to be squeezed into what the ego wants you to believe. The ego works from a set of basic assumptions about how reality works, which are all fear-based.
So it's really explaining how it all works. And, you know, I found this one, I found all of them, really, I listened to all of them. I'm gonna listen to them again because, you know, there's stuff that you missed. But this one in particular was the stage that I'm at where I am healing, you know, inner wounds and starting to change perspective and see things differently. So that transition is what is discussing here and how to maneuver through it. So I found this one in particular from Ego to Heart 3 really helpful for me. And I don't know if anybody's else at that stage, but they go through all the different stages and all of it's really helpful. So that helped clarify a lot. I think he actually says, I want to see if I find
Who you are. You will attract circumstances and people that reflect your self-love. It is as simple as that.
You see what he's saying?
They create nothing but confusion and doubt. I'm working so hard, but nothing happens. Self-acceptance is a form of love. Love is the biggest magnet for positive change in your life. If you love and accept yourself for who you are, you will attract circumstances and people that reflect your self-love. It is as simple as that. Feel your own energy, all of your feelings. Feel how beautiful and sincere you are right now in all of your struggles and sorrow. You are beautiful with all your imperfections and faults, and that is the only realization that counts. Embrace who you are. Get relaxed with yourself. Perhaps look at your many flaws with a sense of humor. Perfection is not an option, you know. It is just an illusion.
Getting this education, getting my master's, put me on a level that brings more respect in the community, but also to
Creating your reality from the heart is to recognize your light here and now. By recognizing it, by becoming aware of it, you are sowing a seed that will grow and take shape at the physical level. When God created you as individual souls, she did not exert her will. She was simply being herself, and at some point she sensed that there was something out there worth exploring. She didn't know exactly what it was, but it did make her feel a little like falling in love, and she assumed without further ado that she was worthy of experiencing this new and inviting reality. She was also a little in love with herself. And so you took shape as individual souls, and God started to experience life through you. How this all came about, the details of the creation process, God did not really bother about. She just loved herself and she was open to change. And those are really the only elements required for you to create your own perfect reality. Self-love and a willingness to venture into the new.
Hello.
Adjusting to living from the heart. Creating from the heart is more powerful and requires less effort than creating from the ego.
Hello.
You do not have to bother about the details. You just need to be open to all there is, both inside and outside. From this openness, you may now and then sense a certain pull. You may feel drawn towards certain things. This pull is actually the quiet whisper of your heart. It is your intuition. When you act from intuition, you are being pulled instead of pushing.
So that was really like pivotal. So that's what I'm learning to do. So I'm getting the self-love more, and they help. My guides and my angels help a lot with my dreams, and they show me myself in such a loving way, in such a beautiful way. Like I love myself. Like it's beyond how magical the process can be. And the ways that they choose to show you your own beauty and your worthiness and your love, right? It was like I was seeing myself and I wasn't myself. I was like, oh my God, she's just so lovable. So this was really helpful for me. So I don't know if it's helpful for anyone else, but it's called the Joshua Channelings from Ego to Heart. But it has like 8 videos. It breaks it down. I bought the book as well. It hasn't come in yet, but that might be a book that I read later on the podcast. I don't know if you guys are interested in it, whatever, but I really love this one. So the other one, I'm trying to see.
From Ego to Heart, Part 1. 4 stages in the transformation of consciousness.
Go back to my subscriptions, not my playlist. Okay, so this one was another.
This Possibilities podcast. We find
This is a video that explained, it literally explained, well, and it's only if you believe what he's saying, because it's his own experience that he's talking from. But it resonated with me. So kind of explain the different levels and how it works and how our emotions and our thoughts play into creating the reality that we want and how love plays into it. Love is major, guys. It's like major, major, major. I never knew how major love was, but love really does make the experience much better. And we know this because when we fall in love with someone, we know how different the world seems, right? With this person in our life, it's seeing them and experiencing the world through those eyes. So when we do that with ourselves, how that affects how we see all things and all people and all beings. And it's, I think I've only had like a taste of it in my conscious world, but I've had quite a few experiences in my dreams and in the hypnosis with love and how beautiful the feeling is. Like in the expanded way, it's really the best thing ever. So anyway, this guy, his name is Marco C. Lorenz. I think he's German. And he has been experimenting for a while. Like the whole video is like an hour and a half, so I can't play the whole video for you. But he talks about, like, you know, I think as a teenager, accidentally like coming out of his body and then being curious about it and working on it and finding ways on how to do it and figuring out blocks and creating like sounds or beats that help the brain. He said he knows how to do it like in 20 seconds. And I don't like that he says to force it, because I don't agree with forcing anything. Like I like gentle integrations, but not everybody likes gentle integrations. So, but he talks about forcing and how he has it down now, where he has these sounds and beats that he does that you can actually do it a lot faster. You can come out of the body within 20 seconds. He's saying he really links it to how native and indigenous civilizations did it with the drumming and the moving around, the spinning, and how all of that created an experience in the brain. It caused an effect in the brain so that they could astral travel and stuff too. So he's done his research. And then he says, like, once you travel out of your body, that those experiences you experience would be at the frequency you're at. So then he talks about how being in a frequency of love can affect those experiences. So you can have a varied number of experiences when you astral travel, and that's really based on the frequency that you're at. So, you know, check yourself before you do these things. I, again, said I'm not too sure I'm ready for that. I don't know if I'm doing it in my dreams, but at least I'm not aware of it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's something I'm ready to try, like in a consistent manner, right? Because also I think about, like, okay, if I really like the experiences there, then I may not enjoy the experience here on Earth. I really want to experience Earth to the best of my abilities, right? I want to have a really good experience here on Earth and take in all the gifts Earth offers. And I'm not sure what the astral travel would make me feel like. I don't want to be here because it's heavy and dense, you know. So I think once I'm able to manage loving being in this experience, then I can appreciate this experience more to a point where I can experience other things, but still want to have this experience. So that's where I am at with it. Not that I'm not ever going to do it, but like I want to master this here first before I do the astral traveling and stuff like that. But yeah, so what he does explain though,
And into an opportunity for self.
so like it divided it previously, like when I saw
experience. And then I learned it's a mix of serotonin and melatonin. Call it God. You can't call it anything because it's more a water. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about the different aspects of consciousness.
And you said. And then after around 1,000 out-of-body experience, it starts to make a next quality out of.
Wait, so he breaks down the different levels of awareness or consciousness. He kind of calls it like a game and how it all works. And I'm trying to find that aspect. So when I looked at it on TV, it kind of it broke down what each segment was about, but it's not doing that here on the Mac. So trying to find where he describes it. But yeah, after watching this, explained it so well, I was like, damn, well, I know everything now. Figuring it out ain't fun no more. So I was like that this morning, but I think I'm getting back into, well, he experienced it that way. That doesn't mean that I experienced it that way. So I still have to have my own journey and my own experiences of it. And also it's kind of good that I know how it works so that I can better have the experiences that resonate with me. I know how to, it may take a while to actually do it. Knowing how to do something, actually doing it is two different things. So theoretically, I know what I need to do, but controlling your feeling and your thoughts aren't that easy, at least not yet for me. So, but at least I have the knowledge on how to do it and how to kind of course correct if I want to. And I can look at it also as an experiment. Okay, he's saying this. I don't know if it's true, but let me try it and see how it affects my outcome, my external reality. So I can look at it that way too, as an experiment and stuff, and not be bored with, okay, I already know how it works, right? So, and then also it's not, so now that I know, or I think that I believe what he's saying, and I think I know how it works, mastering it, and then seeing how it occurs in my reality, but also like the reality would be beautiful to experience, right? And it can grow and expand from the different things I want to experience in different ways, or be surprised about how it does show up and stuff like that. So I don't need to be so, talking to you guys on this podcast is helping me clarify all the things I still have exciting to do and experience. Right. Anyway, so let's go back to what he's describing.
Out-of-body experience, it was, I call it, I don't know what, good thoughts and good belief system, and clarity. And to be
Did was there been like guides working with you, giving you situations and scenarios where you had to make decisions?
Yes, the first part, I come in lower astral realities to learn to work with my fear and to release my fear. It was not so cool experience, but it was after a lot of years, one of the best experience because it transformed myself. Like you said, I always say when you want make out of body, first make into the body. So look what's inside you, because that what's inside you, you have a frequency, and your frequency will come to this experience, to this astral level, what's exact your frequency. So when you want to come to a light world with a lot of amazing stuff, you need to have inside yourself a light world, good thoughts and good belief system, and clarity, and to be peaceful and thankful. And so it helps me in the first part to look in my shadow sides inside and to release it. Later on, when you make a lot of experience with this, the identity shift starts. So the first is before you have out-of-body experience, most people have the identity, I'm Marco and I'm in this body and this is my body. Or let's say I'm this body at the beginning. Later it starts, oh, I use this body. And at night I'm in a different body. And when you have a lot of more experience, you learn, oh, I'm only consciousness and I change how often I can my body. So it's kind of, you change the car or you read different books. And this belief system about your identity is a big shift in a big truth about yourself, who you really are and what's behind yourself. And then after around 1,000 out-of-body experience, it starts to make a next quality out of body experience. It was, I call it, I don't know what's the true name for it, but I call it soul travel. This is the experience where you don't go in the out of body state. It's more like you have extremely experience with, let's say, 5-meo DMT, or a very big soul travel where you are not fixed, bounded on anybody, and you come I come there in a higher state of consciousness where reality is it's a different form of reality. It's not 3D, it's more consciousness self. And it was the level of the higher self. And then I was often there, and I make experience in the soul travel, higher self experience. And then it comes to the next level where I call it God, where God exists, and make a lot of experience with God's self. And then I come this next level where a lot of gods there, and one God is only a duplication of the other one. And then I come later on this, I call it quantum consciousness, on this only one consciousness, what's kind of, you have no identity because you can't call it God, you can't call it anything because it's more a water, yeah, an ocean,
Like a plane of existence, right?
Yeah, and he have this existence is everything and have not identity to say, oh, I am this, because if start to say I am this, it's make it from self smaller than it is. And so it's only kind of Google, yeah? You give an input and it gives you output, nothing more. It's kind of information. Everything is,
And you,
yeah.
and you traveled there in a sort of a disembodied state, right? No, you didn't have like an astral body. Your consciousness shifted into these higher states of reality, right? Planes of existence, God planes. And can you describe what they looked like or how they felt, Marco?
Oh yes. First was my journey starts also similar like Tom Campbell. I come always to this astral worlds, and I was skeptical, and I said, how it works and how it is and how is this made. Then one day a good friend of mine come and say, Marco, that what you do is good for your brain, but not for your soul. So don't go there and make a research. Go there without any plan and make experience. And this was a big shift for me, because then I start my out-of-body travel without any, oh, how this works and this, because I was always in the matrix, and the matrix say, you want this? Here, let's go. And I lose myself in information, how everything happened. It's good for the brain, but not to go up higher. And when I go there, and I have no idea what, my focus was not how this works. My focus was what's behind this and who create this. And so I don't believe that what I see. And so I come to the next levels of consciousness. And this, then the really self-exploration starts to see in the first level of the higher self. I have a lot of experience. The one experience was I was there, and it's not you are there and you visit yourself there. It's more wake up in this consciousness and remember, oh, I'm always there. What is for you? So when you have a true about I'm a bad guy and the world is always bad and the people are bad, then this generates thoughts and emotions, state of consciousness, and you see always the reflection of your belief system in the outside of the world. And this is the magic behind. So we can see everyone lives his individual world and also together in the collective quantum world with God together with other worlds. And we are in a big system where everyone is come together and help it with his story. And this is one of the magic things what happened when I was then I see these pixels. I see it was when you play 1,000 games at the same time, you lose yourself in this game. But one thing was very crazy. Sometimes one of the
So you have to look at the whole like video to see what he's talking about. But he is describing the different stages of consciousness that he was able to experience with his astral travel. It appears that it was linked by his own self-expansion. So what he explains, and he gives so much video to it, because I don't want you to say what I'm saying is correct, because maybe I misinterpreted what he said, but basically like our emotions and thoughts send a message to like our higher self or divine self or sacred self, whatever you want to call it. And it gets the signal, okay, they're on this track, and it sends it to another aspect of the consciousness, the pixelated, he called it pixelated, which then sends back into our experience what we're resonating, like the frequency we're at. So we'll get more experiences related to love and peace and harmony and healing and growth and stuff that way. But like he was saying, if you have a belief that you're a bad person and only bad things happen to you, then your thoughts and emotions will give that frequency, will send it to your higher self, like, okay, they're on this track, and they'll give more experiences to solidify that, to prove that, essentially. That's not even prove it. So that's the experience. That's the experience you're having, you're wanting to have, you're wanting to learn from. So you get more experiences like that. So basically, like your emotions and your thoughts, kind of, as was stated with the Hathors and with the Palladians, Bringers of the Dawn, that you kind of determine the experience you're having by like intentioning and allowing it to occur, relaxing into it, right? Also in that channel that I was just, the Yeshua channels, they were saying it's effortless. It's like a pull instead of a push. It's not, it's not a forced thing. It flows. So sit with yourself and love yourself, and so that will expand from there. But yeah, so we kind of unknowingly, because we don't know how this whole thing works, we come in here without remembering, because we want to experience it, and I think we want to have the experience without knowing how it works, so that we can have all aspects of the experience, I suspect. That's why we come in without knowing and having to discover how it works. Maybe we're bored because we know how it works, and we get to create whatever we want, and we get bored with it. So now we don't want to know how it works. So we come down here to like see if we can find our way back to knowing. I don't know. But yeah, so he does explain how that determines the type of experience. He also does state, though, as the author was mentioned, that, yeah, we do create our experience, but there's some things that we have to experience that will happen kind of no matter what we do. So it's like we do have free choice, but also there's some things that are set up prior that's affected by the whole human consciousness that we all have to experience, or the solar system or the planetary system. There are things that we don't fully control, but a lot of it is freedom of choice, right? We have choice, but some aspects we do have to experience. But again, we have freedom of choice of how we view it and our perspective of it, and if we choose to learn from it and grow from it, or if we choose to say, oh, this is so horrible. Anyway, I wonder if I could get there with this. It's like I didn't save where he said
there, and you play, let's say, 1,000 games at the same time. Why not? Because the possibility from the higher self is better than the humanity. Yeah. And it's not that everyone on this planet is play this game, is from this soul. It's more of a lot of games are open at the same time, and they make that what's now in your consciousness state. So they make, when you think about one thing, so you need, let's say, you want to write a book about anything. But to write this book, you need to have discipline. So at the same moment, you start a new game with an incarnation where you train discipline. So one character play training discipline. Other one playing, oh, I need to have out of body experience. You need for this 10 incarnations and 10 different people train out of body in their life, everyone on a different way. And so you play it. And when you have ideas, what you want to do now, you start the game and it's placed for yourself. And it's not that you have completely control as higher self. It's more of, I duplicate myself and I give 2% of my consciousness to this individuality and I give you a plan. Do it, a Blaupause. So do it and you guide him. It's more a guiding, yeah, and see what's happened. And when you guide him, then you are better. You learn it better when you guide your individuality. And when you say do this, that the individuality is more a robot, and the feeling is not so good. The emotion is not so intense.
So you're saying free will, right? It's better if they have free will.
Yes, but with a plan. Yeah, you need to do this. This is the plan for your life to have this. If not, why I do this? Why I have this thoughts?
But they forget the plan, right? So,
Yes.
So how is the plan fed to the person, to the player?
When you remember.
Okay, so that is all the things I wanted to share today with this episode. In the next episode, we're going to explore the Magdalene manuscript. Hope you guys have a great day. I hope this episode was helpful. I feel like I was a little bit all over the place, but those are all the things I'm learning and what I wanted to share in my own progress and what's helping me. I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day, and we'll talk again soon. Remember that you are loved, and be gentle with yourself as much as you can as you progress this density. Bye, guys.